Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we have reached the end of the Virtual Velocity Racing Cup Car Series, and it is here at the very unique 7/8 Mile Iowa Speedway. This thing is a fun little track to get around in, and it's fun no matter what kind of cars you drive, whether it's legends, whether it's late models, or even up here with the Cup cars. It's a fun little track to drive around. Kind of a newer track, opened up in 2005 and seen its first action in 2007 when the IndyCar series came here. And IndyCar races here are pretty fun to watch. It's one of my more favorite IndyCar races to watch here when it comes to an oval, because there's so much going on. It's just not necessarily a short track. I know according to Jimmy's standards, it's under a mile, so it's a short track. Yes. But it plays a little interesting. It's about the same size, a little bit bigger than Richmond, but it's got a little bit more banking, and it makes it, I think, a little bit more racy than the flatter Richmond. Carl Hamrick joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, we've come to the end of the season here, but we still got one more race. We got one more chance for these boys out here to get after it and get another win.
Yeah, one more chance for the drivers to get out here for the end of the season, before they go on a nice little break until they start their next one. But right now, it's all about who can put that last victory in the books for VVR.
Yeah, it's just about a foregone conclusion with Dalton Kilroe getting the championship. Not making anything official just yet, so it's still unofficial. But I think as long as he is at the track tonight is pretty much what it comes down to, and he is indeed here tonight. The drivers are out there putting their qualifying runs in right now, and this is a track that you can certainly make passes. You can set up passes. It's going to be one where the long run should come into play. These drivers have had plenty of long runs in the series so far this year, but you still need to qualify pretty well up here. It makes it just makes your life easier.
Yeah, it definitely makes life easier, and also kind of sets you in that spot where if you can get out front and get some of that clean air, and not being in that middle pack mayhem where there's so much competition, and you might be able to survive or walk away from some of the pack here, but especially with those long runs. So hopefully the drivers, like I say every single week, have practiced their pit entries and pit exits, as that can play a huge role by a half a second, even a second, losing or gaining on the pit stops. So it'll be easier than on the track itself. But right now we have about a little over a minute left remaining in qualifying. Eric Blount is on top with a 23.917, followed by Mike Hasty with a 23.924. So competition is tight tonight.
Yeah, I consider this pit road, the entry and the exit, kind of middle of the road. It's not the easiest, and it's certainly not the most difficult to get in. I think we've seen the most difficult last night at Dover International Speedway. That is just damn near impossible to get up pit road there. I think between Dover and Darlington, those are probably the toughest ones in my eyes on the on any kind of schedule. I mean, you can look at your Talladegas and your Daytonas, and you think that those should be the easiest, but when you got a gaggle of 10, 15 cars coming at the same time, those can get a little bit difficult as well. But looking at the results for the season, I mean, it's no surprise that Dalton Kilroe is on top of the boards, as he is he's not only had the most wins in the series with 6, but just total domination when it comes to top 5s, top 10s. I mean, in his 20 starts, he's seen the top 5 15 times. 75% of the time getting in the top 5. Jimmy, it's going to get you a championship more often than not.
Yeah, it's that consistency run that has put him in that position to win the championship here pretty much tonight. Almost locking it up. Just want to give a shout out to a few other drivers out there maybe tuning in to watch. See Derek Paulson did not quite make it in time in order to get in here, so we will not see him out on the track. So he's going to be watching his teammates do their thing and hopefully bring home that championship here tonight. But yeah, we still have 20 drivers still signed up, so a great field size tonight, and drivers been doing nothing but showing up all season long, putting on great shows for all you fans out there. Really appreciate everybody stopping by, and if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button. CRN, even though this is the last of the season for VVR, there's plenty of action out there, and we will continue to cover all along iRacing.
Well, we are getting ready to send this one off. The qualifying is complete. We got 150 laps on tap for the race tonight. Jimmy, why don't you give us one more rundown for the season?
Yeah, one more rundown for me to possibly screw up somebody's name, and everybody loves it. So. But Eric Blount will take the pole here tonight, and at number 6 after having some rough starts in races throughout the season. So we're going to put that number 6 out front, along with Mike Hasty on the outside. Then row number 2 will be Justin Lewis and Ty Marasco. Row number 3, Brandon Muir and John Garrett. Row number 4 will be Dalton Kilrow and Joshua Divers. Row number 5, Tim Lee and Andrew Pileshi. Row number 6 will be Brian Dees and Len McNeese. And then farther back in the field, come on. It wants to move for me here today.
Wait for it.
There we go. We have on row number 7, Tyler Hilton and Cade Green. Row number 8 will be Hemi Gardini and Cody Griffin. And then row number 9, Maxwell Caldwell is Mike Taylor. And then row number 10, Michael Pratt. No shocker there, starting from the back tonight, along with that number 45 of Tim Williams.
Yeah, the 77 starting from the back. That's a big shocker right there. We'll see what he can do and drive up through the field. 20 cars out here tonight, and got to give it to him. I mean, there's not that many leagues that can hold 20-plus car fields all the way through the season, all the way to the end of the season. With as long as this schedule was, you had some big breaks in the middle. You had the summer break that was about a month long. You had some iRacing issues that kind of stretched out the schedule as well. I mean, anything and everything kind of hit this series, and to still see 20 cars in the last race is awesome, and it's a testament to how good the racing is here, how good the product is that Tim Lee puts out there. So thank you to him, thank you to all the drivers out here, thank you to all the fans that have showed up all throughout this season. This is going to be a fun one, a good little send-off here under the lights at Iowa. Eric Blount, Mike Hasty on the front row of this thing. Pace car lights are out. We're not going to waste any time to get this thing underway. We got 150 laps once again. It seems like it's a good chunk of laps, seems like it's a long way, but once these drivers get to green flag racing, the laps are going to tick by pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's not, it doesn't take very long to get around here tonight, and the cars are definitely looking good underneath the lights here at Iowa. And it's good to see the number 6 out front, so hopefully he can keep it there for the rest of the evening and get himself a great finish. Looking out there just a little bit, but getting ready to go green next time by.
Yeah, I thought I seen the pace car lights out, but it looks like we're going to go the next time by here, so not sure if it was a call to go around one more time, just get everybody grouped up one more time, but that's fine. It gives us some time to kind of catch our breath, get ready for this thing, gives everybody out there in CRN Nation a chance to maybe grab a beverage, grab a little snack, and get ready to watch this thing. I'm looking forward to it, looking forward to one more great run out here tonight. Your points leader, Dalton Kilrow, starting back there in the third row, starting back there in actually the fourth row, 7th place right now, and his closest competitor in the points, Joshua Divers, right there alongside him in 8th place. So we'll see if these top 2 guys in the points can work their way through the field. But the pace car lights are still off, so we'll just wait and see if he does make that left-hand turn. And there we go, indeed he does. No blink or anything like that, but he's off. We're getting ready to go racing, and we are green at Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, 6 gets on the loud pedal, and not the best of starts, as the 07 of Justin Lewis is going to shoot to the outside, but they're 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, how about 3rd to 1st on the start here for Justin Lewis? Started behind Eric Blount, but got a great jump to the outside since it was open, made the pass on the outside, and the 07 going to get right to the lead. Ty Marasco up there in 3rd, now battling with Eric Blount, but it's good battles all the way through the field here, and should see a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing here. This track is a little bit smaller, but it is going to cause a caution here, and it is involving your pole sitter, Eric Blount. Not the start he envisioned.
Definitely not what he wanted, and believe it or not, but that didn't even count as a wreck for some reason. But we will go ahead and see what happened to Eric there real quick.
It's down a little bit further from the yellow flag. I see mine at least.
See what happened to Eric as he was up on that high side.
Oh, you see right there, gets in between the 2 seams there. Car steps out, goes to correct it, and a major Overcorrection right there sends him hard into the wall. That's going to bring us out to an early caution here on lap number 2. I mean, we may see some guys towards the back of the pack maybe just come in and grab a little splash of fuel, but early caution here, and man, it's a shame as Eric Blunt getting a very good qualifying spot, starting on the pole, and it didn't last too long at all. I mean, he didn't even get to hold that lead for a full corner before Justin Lewis got on by. Then Ty Marasco went to the inside in turn 1, but you see him kind of got in between those two seams. There's multiple grooves out there. There's 3, maybe even 4 grooves that you can run in the corners, but you got to watch those seams because it's not necessarily progressive banking, but when you get up towards that top, it's a little bit different banking in those last 2 seams, and that's exactly what he experienced.
Always those pit stops and people crossing over always makes me hold my breath temporarily. But you see a few drivers came down and for that splash of fuel, and here it was Len McNeese, Maxwell Caldwell, Cody Griffin, Michael Pratt, Tim Williams, obviously Eric Plump come in there, probably took his fast repair, and Mike Taylor. So few drivers electing to come in, top off on gas. You know, we didn't use much fuel or tires, but it could be what's needed here. And you know, if something happens in between some of those other drivers during a green flag pit stop, it could work in their favor. So not a bad call, especially if you're in the back. But Justin Lewis will restart this thing, and P1 followed by Ty Marasco on the outside.
One last shot for Ty Marasco to get the first win of the season for him. I know he's been up there plenty and had to watch all of his MFRD teammates get their wins on the season. He's yet to grab his. We talked to him last week about it, and kind of talked ad nauseum the last few weeks about it. When is he going to crack through? Well, he ain't got no more time. This is his last chance this season. Certainly, all these drivers are looking forward to season number 2 coming up most likely next year. But you want to leave on a high note for sure. You don't want to be that only guy on the team that doesn't get a win. But pace car is turning off. It's in control by Justin Lewis. He's on the loud pedal, and we are back racing.
Yeah, back race. Another good start there by Justin Lewis. Puts him back out front there. At the outside of Ty Marasco also getting a pretty good start as well, so not able to run away there on that one. Holding on that P2, but that inside seems pretty strong early on. It was Mike Casey's got up near the wall there, but avoiding it, so maybe he had to let off just a little bit. But still everybody close behind each other here at Iowa as we cross the line to start lap number 7.
Our man from last week, Brandon Muir, up there battling for the lead up into second place right now. Certainly didn't work out too well for him last week at Indianapolis in the end, but had a ton of speed, and now looks like he's got some speed again here tonight, looking to the inside on Lewis for the lead. But really, I think what his undoing was the tires last week, and here tonight, he's gonna keep it off of pit road. He's gonna avoid the penalty, which that was very, very big. Gets it back on track and a fall all the way back to the back. No caution because it was off the racing surface, but he certainly avoided disaster on that one.
Yeah, just a little too much gas there. It's easy to do with these cars. You can really get the rear end to step out, especially with the tires being fairly cold. But it looks like Andrew Pileshi down through the grass now.
And this one will bring out a caution here as he parks it on the side of the track.
There in front of Eric Blunt as well, so that one there, a close call, as it looks like Eric had to go and take evasive action, and it looked like he might have stripped the wall as he was going by. Take another look here at what happened to Andrew, and just that rear end getting out, coming off of 4, down to the inside, trying to save it. Very close call there. Another yellow flag here early on, as I'm sure these racers are just trying to find that throttle control for these cars here tonight, and seeming to be a little bit of an issue coming off of 4 as we have back-to-back laps with somebody heading down towards the grass. So, and it's kind of rare, you know, we've seen a lot of great finishes and wins there by Alessi, so definitely a rare moment for him.
Well, this will trigger some pit stops, and quite a few of the drivers coming in. There's probably about maybe half the field coming into the pits here. I don't think it's time for tires just yet. Probably just come in here, take a little splash of fuel, and see if you can go off strategy from everybody else. And yeah, you don't see the car going up there for Dulcin Co-Row at all. So just going to top this thing off on fuel and get back out there. Already see some of the other drivers getting back out. Justin Lewis, Ty Marasco, John Garrett, Mike Hasty, Tyler Hilton, your top 5. They all stayed out.
Pretty long pit stop there for the 41.
Yeah, extremely long. I don't think he had any kind of damage, unless he has something on that right front. Can't tell if it looks like it's buckled in there a little bit behind the wheel, and unless I'm just seeing something there. It looks fine in the front right there, so I don't know.
Thing looking good there on the 41. Maybe you just need to grab a drink.
I just want to go to the back and just kind of test out the waters back here. Go with the Michael Pratt approach and get some experience driving up through the field.
Yes,
well, pace car lights are out. We're going to double this thing back up again. Justin Lewis, Ty Marasco on the front row. John Garrett, Mike Hasty, Tyler Hilton, your top 5. Then you got Cody Griffin, Tim Lee, Tim Williams, Cade Green, and Brandon Meir going to round out your top 10.
Yes, a little, I don't know, just the rear end just not heated up yet and really coming around on these drivers. So see if these drivers can get it settled down here as we're on lap 12 of 150. 2 cautions in so far, and Justin Lewis out front with Ty Marasco, John Garrett, Mike Hasty, Tyler Hilton, top 5.
Pace car going to be making that left-hand turn again. Justin Lewis going to be in control on this restart. He is on the loud pedal once again, and we are racing. Great start by him. Ty Marasco is going to hang right with him on the restart. Still side by side for 3rd place. John Garrett on the inside, Mike Hasty on the outside, and then single file behind with Tyler Hilton and Cody Griffin. Very close battling there with Garrett and Hasty. And Hasty getting close to that wall, but a good run on the outside is going to move him up and clear into 3rd. And certainly seeing kind of 2 lanes developing right now. That low line and that middle line are certainly the preferred ones right now. That middle line is going to get the better run off the corner. It just depends on how aggressive you can get into the corner to try and really gain that position if you're trying to make a pass.
And that's, I guess, one thing about Iowa. Even though it's a shorter track, there is multiple lanes, and it does make it fun for the drivers to get around here. It's just making sure you keep that car underneath you, as we have another wreck back here with Cade Green. The caution has not flown yet. Back here and see what happened to Cade. Gets on the side of the 24, heads down to the infield.
You see he does get onto pit road. So actually, no, sorry, that is not pit road. I forgot there's a wall in between there.
That's a tough break. No caution there for the number 19.
And I apologize for earlier. It is actually a progressive banking system here at Iowa, which is what allows those multiple grooves that you see. As the system goes from 12 degrees of banking all the way up to 14 degrees from the bottom to the top, and that's what you see more of here than you see at Richmond. And I'll take a look at what the banking is at Richmond, but certainly not going to be anywhere close to the 12 or 14 degrees of banking here at Iowa, and it puts on a really good show out here.
It always does put on a decent show. It's more of a driver's track. You can't put your as much as you want to put your pedal to the floorboard the whole time. You just can't get let up for those corners, get that car to turn, and ease on that throttle for the exit. So definitely looks like the drivers have picked up single file here for the most part all the way around. Still some pretty tight battling up near the front half, I guess you'd say, front, back, middle. Side by side there.
I officially I give up for the night. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, as Richmond is actually 14 degrees of banking. So
There's so many
it is
numbers
as
out
much
there.
banking. I don't visually understand that. I don't believe that, because I've seen Iowa put on so many good races with such a wide variety of lines that you would think it's more banked. I mean, I don't know if it's just got ultimately better grip than Richmond does, or what the case is. I mean, I know Richmond's a little bit smaller. It's a 3/4 mile instead of the 7/8 mile that you have here, but I'm shocked. I'm flabbergasted. I'm everything else. But either way, we are on lap number 21 here. It is Justin Lewis out front, and he is looking for another win here on the season, as he has already picked up a win earlier in the season, looking for win number 2 here tonight. But we got plenty of racing left to go. Ty Marasco, of course, would like to spoil that party and get that win. We've seen that one up front many times, but it's, can he close it out? Can he finish this thing out? Mike Casey doing a good job, looking for I believe his first win on the season, as is the man behind him in the 48. And there we go. Cody Griffin, lost my SDK there for a second. So a lot. I mean, as many races that we have, with 20. I think we've had 21 races.
21
or 22 races. This is race number 22 here. So 21 races in the season, and I mean, we've had like 8 different winners here on the season, as Mike Casey, man, at turn number 4 is really not being kind to these guys getting back on the gas. And unfortunately, fortunately for Hasty, he doesn't do any damage to the car, but he is going to fall all the way towards the back. Another one up there in the top 5, having some issues coming out of the corner.
So somebody with speed getting dropped to the back here, and you see a little wiggle right even out of the 07. So there's got to be that groove, Carl, you're talking about, where it's kind of progressive, where it goes up a little bit higher there, and maybe the cars are just hitting that seam just right, and with a perfect amount of throttle, and giving them a little wiggle, or maybe a little push, or like a pushing feeling type going to where feels like you're going to lose the car. But right now it is Justin Lewis out front barely, with Ty Marasco all over that bumper, now diving down to the inside, looking to take the lead.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's, the guys kind of testing the limits right now. I'm wondering, and you see right there, Baba by the 1. Lewis gets to the inside and try and take the position back. I don't know if it's the driver's kind of testing out the waters right now, or if they're just over driving a little bit. Maybe the track temp is getting a little cooler, and it's giving them a false sense of grip out there. But either way, it is again another one. Tim Williams now going through the grass. There's we may need a caution for a little oil spot there in turn number 4. It's certainly the trouble spot right now.
A lot of drivers having trouble with that spot so far here tonight, and it could come down to it where the tires will start, when they start getting worn in a little bit, they just don't have the grip. Or like I said, I think it's just the way the track is. It just unsettles. As you see the 24 of Tim Lee down at the entrance of pit road, so another victim to turn 4.
And that is going to bring us under our 3rd caution of the night. See, already loose going into the corner, just working it, and then gets up onto that higher seam right there, gets a little bit of that extra banking, and sends him right around. Lucky for him, everybody's going to make it by. See the 02, the 33, able to make it by the incident before he slides down the track. Got ever so close to those pit road barrels, but was able to keep it off him right there and get it spun back around. Listen, anytime you get any kind of close to that, it scares me, because that thing is just because they're barrels in real life. They are brick walls here in the simulator. But
that's going to call
mass
for everybody to come down the pits.
Pit road, and it looks like only John Garrett and Maxwell Caldwell going to stay out. Caldwell pit on lap number 10 to take a little splash of fuel. John Garrett has yet to hit pit lane tonight, but everybody else is in pit lane. And looks like it's kind of the same thing, just getting some splash of fuel and getting back out there. A few drivers towards the back taking tires, so we may see some big moves here on this restart here. As we're already going to be a fourth of the way through this thing, so it is again moving along pretty quickly once we get those green flag laps.
Eric Blount moving, with the cautions, a little bit of assistance from his fellow drivers out there, making a few mistakes. Look at that 6 back up, all the way back up in P number 10 already. So good job there for the 6 recovering that big loss there from that initial hit that he had, and obviously burned up that fast repair to get that 6 fixed. But I don't think it'd be too long. I think we might see that 6 back up towards the front here yet by the end of the night. But yeah, John Garrett right now out front with Maxwell Caldwell. You kind of wondering if they're sitting ducks up there, just kind of with them older tires, or if they're just taking a gamble and this maybe another caution come out and after another couple laps, and then they'll be ahead of the game, I guess.
Quick shout out to our sponsors here for the series: Hilton Crafts and Designs, Forward Screen Printing, and Gold Line Guardians. So, Jimmy, when you get down to it here, end of the season, if you're one of those guys that is kind of a middle of the pack guy in the point standings, and you've been having just kind of consistency for the whole season, is it one where you want to kind of keep that consistency and keep those good feelings going into the next season? Do you want to try and push it harder tonight to try and kind of see what you got going in the next season? Like, what are your thoughts when it comes to this last race? Are you just kind of going balls out and see what you can get?
Well, I guess it really kind of depends on when the next season starts. So if the next season is going to start when they started this year, then maybe I might feel that I want to try pushing the car to its limits for a little while, because I know that I'm going to be on a break for a while, or I got another league I'm going to jump in for, the off season, whatever it may be. So I might go ahead and try to just test the waters with the car and see what I can do. But overall, I don't think I would hold back at all. I think I would just keep it going and drive your race. I mean, if you're in the middle of the pack all the time, now's to see if you can use that consistency to maybe finish in the top 5, maybe even sneak away a podium. As you can see, a lot of the drivers that have been up front, we've had 3 or 4 now go down through the grass. So it could just take that one mistake, and a few of them leaders kind of move out of your way, and you find you're in position for somewhere top 5 or better.
Well, that kind of brings me to my next question. You've seen so many people having the issues in turn 4, and we're under our 3rd caution now already on lap number 32. Does it change your mindset behind the wheel of driving into turn 4, whether it's your aggressiveness or whether it's how close you drive to others in turn 4? Do you maybe take a look at that and just give everybody a little extra room, maybe a little extra half a car length in between you guys, given all the trouble that's out there?
I mean, it's, I guess turn 4 is who has the cojones to put it to it and get that car through there and get the most speed out of it. But if you're too careful, you find yourself sliding backwards, and I think that's what some of the drivers are trying not to let happen, is to fall back through the field. We've seen some of them already really try to push it there and end up falling back anyways. So lots of time to recover those. We see some of those drivers starting to come back towards the front here. See the 81 back up in there. You see the 6 not too far behind either. But you see John Garrett getting out to a decent start here as new tires and fuel behind them. But the 66 is going to take the lead here going down the backstretch, followed by the 95 of Maxwell Caldwell.
Yeah, first set of new tires in the field. Looks like it's back there in 9th place with Brian Dees, Brandon Muir, Cody Griffin, all taking some tires. And we'll see how that plays out and how they can try and run through this field right now. But it's John Garrett leading the way over Maxwell Caldwell, Justin Lewis in 3rd, Ty Marasco, Tyler Hilton chasing him, and looks like Tyler Hilton's got his hands full on the outside with Joshua Divers trying to move his way up there. Haven't talked too much about Dalton Kilroe since he went towards the back. He's back there in 13th, slowly picking his way up through the field. You see a little bobble by the 48, and then the 71 gets into the wall. So Hemi Gardini touching the wall pretty hard there. We'll see how much that affects his handling. We usually got to watch it for at least a corner or two.
Cody Griffin makes his way by as Gardini's going to keep it towards the top. So the only thing about keeping it to the top is trying to keep it off that wall. And he might know that he's a little bit slower at the moment, or maybe his tires got a little too greasy on him, put him out there on them marbles and send him into the wall. But he's got to keep control of that number 71 and keep it going straight. So as he's getting passed here right now by Casey and Dalton. Hasty goes around. Gonna visit the grass yet again.
Second time for Hasty that he gets loose off of that corner, and man, somebody keep an eye on turn 4. I think we need picture-in-picture and just have one camera just trained on turn 4, just waiting for the next person to spin out. It's not if, it's just when. We're just that's our new coverage right here. That's all we're gonna do. This is clearly where the action is.
And there it is.
And another big bump of the wall right there. The 48 into the wall on cue. Man, it's amazing. I mean, we see it before that, one corner kind of, takes the cake for the most incidents, but I mean, this is amazing. I think we finally have a caution brought out, not from turn number 4, and it was Hemi Gherardini coming out of 2.
Yeah, so we'll go back and check to see what happened to Hemi. Seemed like he was having a little bit of issues holding on to the 71 here tonight, but we'll go back and double check to see what happened here. He's below the 48 there. Trying to keep
drifts
it down.
Up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you see that car still out of shape, still sideways, and
off on the apron.
Tries to avoid snapping it back to the right with the correction, and gets that apron, spins it sideways. No contact with anybody else. No contact with the wall or anything like that, other than the contact that we seen earlier coming off of 4. And you wonder how much that came into play right there. I mean, you see the damage to that front right from him smacking the wall coming out of 4, and maybe that's what kind of tightened that car up and pushed him up into the 48. But either way, we're under our 4th caution, and Jimmy, it's been pretty consistent here. It seems like 10 laps caution, 4th caution here, lap 40.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate. I know these drivers are really trying to get at it and get in the throttle and be competitive tonight, and just finding that slick spot or finding that spot where that rear end of that car really wants to get loose. So we'll see if who can tame this thing, who can I guess make the least amount of mistakes. We see with somebody getting one of their laps back right there going on the outside, Lucky Dog. So I believe that was Cade Green, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, and then number 19. So getting one of their laps back here tonight. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you guys where everybody's standing. And yeah, Cade Green's got 2 more laps to make up. So we're currently, as long as they have cautions and he's not involved and nobody else goes a lap down, 19 will get back up on that lead lap. So plenty of racing still remaining here, as we still have over 100 laps remaining. We're not quite a third of the way done. I mean, it's still going by pretty quickly, but if these guys really figure out that corner or why it's giving them issues, you might see this thing disappear. That are like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah, even with all the cautions out here tonight, we're already getting close to a third of the way done with this thing on lap number 40. Justin Lewis going to restart this thing from the lead once again. Maxwell Caldwell, Ty Marasco, Brian Dees, John Garrett, your top 5 as Garrett slipped back there a little bit on that run. Still has yet to hit pit road. Hasn't come in for fuel, hasn't come in for tires, nothing. He wants to be out there on track and he wants to run this thing. It's working out so far as he is up in 5th place, started in 6th. Biggest mover of the race so far, Maxwell Caldwell up from 17th up to 2nd. But we are back racing at Iowa. Good start from the inside line, not so much from the outside. Caldwell gets a little bit of a slower start, allows Marasco to move into 2nd.
So we're going high, allowing some of the drivers to go by. That's the 0-2 of Tyler Hilton towards the back of the field here. As the front of the field is getting things sorted out. You see 3 wide looking between driver Paleshi and the 48 of Griffin.
You see Brian Dees now, as well as Brandon Muir, both in the top 5 with those newer tires that they got on lap number 28. And it's one of those things where it was really early in my eyes to take that first set of tires. Considering these drivers only have a certain number of tires in the pit lane. It looks like 3 total sets here in the race. So a little bit early, but when you have a race like this where it is, kind of cautions every 10 laps, you get a chance to run those tires really hard under those, few green flag laps, pick up a few positions, and then you get to cool them right back down again. So you're not just wearing them out, and then all of a sudden the drivers come in to take their fresh set of tires, and you're, a second off of their pace. So it's working out so far right now, but it sees them right now. Brian Dees in third, Brandon Muir in fourth, but they're all chasing Justin Lewis at the front of this field, who's got some company. Now Maxwell Caldwell is actually going to take over the lead.
He said, didn't even say anything about him. Oh,
good save there by Tyler Hilton. That thing was all kinds of out of shape.
Dude, really had to work that wheel and throttle to keep that thing going straight. There's almost lost there. We've seen him have a couple close calls, but yeah, it's really slippery track tonight. I'm sure once we get to talk to some of the drivers here at the end, we'll really see how difficult it was for them to drive here tonight. So it looked like the 45 there, go ahead and tag the wall just a little bit, but nothing too major. We'll move back up here, back to the 8th, 9th, 10th positions here as you have Leshy and Kilrow and drivers and one of Ty Marasco all in this group here, and a lot of drivers that we normally see right at the very front of the pack. So these drivers here, I think, maybe playing it maybe a little bit safer tonight. They're really trying to, I think, find that line through 4 that's really going to work for them, where they can really get down that speed. You can't use your qualifying line all the time for the race, to keep things going, keep tires in check, and find those, good.
We got a spinner back in the back.
45.
Looks like Tim Williams is the newest victim of turn number 4, and Jimmy, right about at lap number 50. I don't know what it is between turn number 4 and once we click over and get close to that 0 at that second number, it's when it happens. But you see right there, just kind of in between those seams again, and it's a killer. You really have to pick a seam and drive in it. I mean, it's almost like when you're on a super speedway and you're going 2-3 wide, you have to hold your line, and that's what these drivers have to do through these corners. I know you want to push, I know you want to get on the gas, but you get upset, or you get the car upset real quickly if you're getting in between those 2 seams on this progressive banking.
Yeah, it's just a weird spot. The car's really not liking the track here tonight, and maybe the set, the setups are just a little bit loose, almost like they need I don't know if they need a little more downforce or maybe a software span. Who knows? I'm not a setup guy, but there's obviously something off with the cars here tonight, as they all run the same setups here. But you're going to see some of these drivers come down here on lap 50 of 150 for this pit stop here. And really, some drivers really almost missed the pits there. Last minute decision, but they're going to come down for top off fuel. And I can imagine if some of these drivers haven't taken tires, they're going to think about taking that first set now.
Yeah, absolutely. I know one person that's loving this caution. That is a 19. Cade Green gets another lap back now. Only 1 lap down. Just needs 1 more caution. And Jimmy, I'm going to venture out and say he may get it around lap 60. I know it's a stretch, but I mean, the way this thing is going, it's comical, and I'm not laughing at the drivers. They're clearly they got a handful out there in turn number 4 out there tonight. So we'll see what happens out there. See if they can finally get it figured out and keep that thing in one lane out there. But either way, Cade Green enjoying this time to get those laps back.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously good mindset there for the 19, getting some of his laps back. He'll be competitive here, and 1 more short caution, just needs to keep it clean, a few more laps, and probably end up getting that back there. So now he's just has to make sure that nobody else goes 1 lap down, so he can be that lucky dog, or he'll have to battle them for that. But right now it's going to be Brian Dees, Brandon Muir out front, Ty Marasco. Dalton Kilrose finds himself up in the P number 4 after dropping to the back and having that long pit stop. Tyler Hilton, Maxwell Caldwell, Cody Griffin, Michael Pratt up 11 spots in P number 8. Justin Lewis is back in P number 9. And Andrew Fleshy back in P10 along with John Garrett. So Yeah, it's been a tough one so far for these drivers tonight. Definitely have had their hands full, and if you're a driver out there watching, you might not be missing too much if you have a hard time controlling the rear end of this car. So, but definitely miss any of the drivers that have not made it here tonight, as we've had great racing throughout the season. But it looks like the 17 of Brian Dees is going to get on that loud pedal, and that inside gets a decent start, able to hold the lead here going down to turn number 1.
And remember, Dees and Mir were the ones that had the newer tires earlier, and now they are first and second. Ty Marasco trying to stay on the inside of that 33, get the run. He's going to go to the inside in 3 and 4. Dalton Kilroe now the furthest up. We've seen him tonight up into 4th place, and now the 1 and 33 get together. The 1 is pointing the wrong way. The 02 are going to get involved. The 88 or the 81 of Paleshi going to go through the grass. Doesn't look like he touched anything. Just got a little sideways and got down there. But certainly, the one getting tagged, I think it was the one that got tagged by the 02 there. We'll take a look at it again. But I mean, that one I can't blame necessarily on turn number 4. That was just some hard, tight racing. See, the one drifts up, gets into the 33, sends them both sideways, and man, this is a scary feeling when you're sitting there, even though it's virtually, when your car is pointed backwards in the racing line with all these cars coming at you. You see there the 81 gets down to the bottom of the 33. Brandon Mir is the one that gets hit hard by the 02. Divers gets up to the top lane and gets around him, and really good avoidance by 90% of this field out here. But that was a big impact there on the 33 and the 02.
Yeah, big, little bit of a bigger goof up here tonight on this caution, but overall, I think the cars kind of made it out in pretty decent shape. Maybe a bent frame or a fender and tighten these cars up just a little bit might not be a bad thing.
Well, I'm wondering if it's partially the last race of the season, and the other part of it being just so many cautions so far that feels like there's no lack of urgency here tonight, that everybody is really trying to go for it whenever they get a chance. And I think that's what you've seen there from the 1. He was really trying to go for it and get around the 33 as quick as possible to get up there with his teammate Brian Dees to try and get away from everybody. But Cade Green now back on the lead lap. How about that? And it just took that one extra caution. Now he is back on the lead lap. He can come into the pits if he wants to. He is going to rejoin the field, and for once he can try and start making some passes that mean something once again. And he's not even in last place right now. Ty Marasco going in the pits there and getting fixed up, getting looks like a little bit of damage repaired before he comes back out here. But we are going to get this thing back going. Still not even halfway, so this thing is far from over.
Yeah, definitely far from over, as they've had their challenges on the exit of 4. And that last one was just due to racing. That was more of a racing instead of just trying to get at it and trying to make it stick. And thought he had it just a little bit. Just the other car maybe just checking up just a little bit, as they've had troubles through that corner. So I think turn 4 is definitely shaking a few of these drivers, or the ones that have had, almost gone around or trouble, coming off that corner. But right now it is going to be Brian Dees out front over Dalton Kilroe, Maxwell Caldwell, Justin Lewis, and Cody Griffin for your top 5.
I think while we got a chance, and maybe the best chance when they get restarted here, is they usually complete at least 5-6 laps before we get another caution. I think it's about time to crank these guys up for the first time and give them, everyone out there in CRN Nation, a little love to hear it on this restart.
Yeah, we would love to hear it on the restart. There we go. soon as another wreck there ensued there on the front stretch. This time being, I believe,
same thing again. Oh no, that was the last incident. Okay, I was gonna say. I mean, if that's a mirror image, that's pretty spectacular that they can do the exact same thing again. Get the O2 involved and everything. Damn. Oh, but it is a 33 that gets involved again. Len McNeese getting involved, and the 98 of Mike Taylor also getting into that one. Man, again, the 33 having a fantastic car once again tonight, and a couple mistakes that he gets involved in, and it's going to send him towards the back. Hopefully he's got a fast repair still in hand. I know he was kind of chipping away at that damage, but going to bring us under another caution out here tonight. And man, Jimmy, these guys don't even want to get to halfway at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 60 of 150, so, we got 15 more laps to hit that halfway mark, and definitely the track is putting a hamper on some of these drivers' driving style. I see from Misfit Zombies says that this car is going away next season, so we'll see what vehicle they bring to the track next season then, and we'll see how they all perform. I mean, this season, has been great. I mean, they've had fantastic races, pretty much 95% of them where they've had just super long green runs or just great battles to the end. So just a fantastic season to watch here at BVR and even be part of, just to be up here in the booth. So what these guys are doing, trying to get this thing finished here tonight, and hopefully the second half they will be able to roll this thing to the end here. But Brian Dees will lead the way with Dalton Kilroy behind him, Justin Lewis, Cody Griffin, Andrew Pileski up there, and back up in the P number 5. Maxwell Caldwell, Joshua Divers, John Garrett, Hemi Gardini, and Tim Lee for your top 10.
Give a shout out to everyone out there watching. Make sure you let us know who you think is going to get this thing done tonight, who you're rooting for out there. I know Derek Paulson would love to be in the race here tonight, just didn't get home in time, so I know he's going to be cheering on his MFRD teammates. Looks like Barry going for the 41. It's never a bad choice. I mean, the season he's had, it's not quite Tiger-esque, the fact where you can bet on Tiger or the field when it comes to golfing when he was at his heyday, but it's never a bad choice picking the 41 here. It's a good chance you're going to get your money back on that one. And then Misfit Zombies checking in. But yeah, let us know who you think is going to get this thing done for the final race of the season. All these cautions, it's not fun. It's not fun for the drivers. It's not fun, for the broadcast here for the racing, but I mean, it can get this field mixed up a ton. And speaking of mixing it up, single file restart on this one. Try and get these drivers some green flag laps. And I don't know if it's necessarily the too wide that's causing the issues here tonight. I think somehow they need to rein in turn number 4. It seems like that's again where that trouble spot is, and whether it's guys getting loose, whether it's guys pushing up off the corner to try and maybe prevent from getting loose. But we are back racing here again on lap number 64.
Yeah, we got a few, obviously a few single car incidents down to that infield, but maybe starting them off single file will help them out just a little bit. Maybe spread out just a little bit, get these cars are rolling. Maybe somebody in the rear doesn't like that so much, as they have a lot longer way to get to the front. But right now it's lap number 65, and Brian Dees currently out front, and so Brandon Muir does look like he was able to get that car fixed, so he's got a long way to go. Plenty of racing still remaining here tonight, but definitely looking forward to see how things kind of pan out. See if these drivers have figured out that turn number 4 yet.
I mean, under green, these laps go by pretty quickly. It's only 24 and a half to 25 second lap times, and you're going to be clicking them away very quickly here. And you'll see how fast they go by here, jumping on board with Joshua Divers running up on Andrew Pileski. This is the highest we've seen Pileski all race, up into the top 5 right now. He's starting back there in 10th, and it just kind of seemed to be just kind of hanging out back there, not really doing too much, but see him now finally up in the top 5, and the 48 gets a little bit of a wiggle. Good quick save there from Cody Griffin. Gets it back up on the track and loses, only a 3 or 4 spot. Could have been a lot worse, though. So again, turn 4 is just, man, I mean, we've seen we've seen turn. Actually, I guess we'll blame that one on turn 3. We'll give turn 4 a rest. But I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen one set of corners be this much troublesome.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I don't think I can't remember a race where one corner was really the. I mean, unless you're at a road race, you know, or you got some hairpin corner where somebody, you know, a lot of drivers are trying to send it, or turn 1 for like Watkins Glen or something. But yeah, it's definitely been a handful here tonight. You can see the. It takes a few laps, you know. Obviously, you get that rear end stepped out, and you can see the 48 still trying to get hold of that car as the tires are not happy with the being heated up like that. You know, basically what happens is just you get all that pressure on the back tire, it slides, it heats those rear tires up, they get greasy, and now the car's even looser than you want it to be. So you really gotta take the time to get that car back under control, and the 48's got a lot of work to do here. Oh, and we got Tim Lee just crashed.
I mean, at this point, I almost feel like we got to thank Hemi Gherardini for being a car that got loose and got into it in turn number 1, and right there, another one involving the 33. Tim Lee, hard impact into the inside wall, and I believe he towed it into the pits from there. But man, Brandon Mir just cannot avoid the issues here tonight. But out front, it is Brian Dees by about a half a second over Justin Lewis, Dalton Kilroe, Joshua Divers, Mike Hasty, your top 5, Alessi Caldwell, Garrett Williams, and Marasco rounding out your top 10.
And now on lap 72, almost to that halfway mark here, and you can see the front 3 drivers are starting to step away just a little bit. Kilroe battling with Lewis, trying to take away P number 2. Then you have Joshua Divers back there, and number 4 just kind of looking on. I think just trying to be consistent and you know, be easy through 4. I mean, he's got a decent way ahead of P number 5 of Mike Hasty, followed by you know, the rest of the gang there. Andrew Alessi back there in 6th, Maxwell Caldwell's in 7th. John Garrett is back in 8th. Tim Williams is in 9th, and Tyler Hilton, we've seen that O2 have troubles. He's up in P number 10.
I don't want to say it just yet, but Jimmy, we are just about at halfway, as we got 2 more laps, and we will complete the first half of this race. It's been a little adventure for sure. The first half, and I spoke too soon, as we got another issue there. Kate Green just gets around on the I side there, but the 1 is going to go sideways and around here, and man, another situation here that's going to bring us under a caution. And
yeah, and I'm just gonna pause this before you know that happens here. If we go back just a little bit, you'll see what happened with Ty Marasco. This is 3, and he's coming through 4, and he just like the car just kind of like breaks loose just a little bit. Right there.
Pushes up towards the wall, and that feel like that might have been him just getting on the gas a little bit too early. Gets that thing loose and heated up, and then the car just would not turn in turn 1. Gets right up into the 48. Great job avoiding the incident there. Going to bring us under another caution, and a lot of drivers going to dive into pit lane.
Go ahead and pull up the tower here and see where your favorite driver is and if they're pitting or not. And looks like Mike Hasty is going to stay out this time along with Eric.
And Joshua Divers also going to stay out at the front. It's like we will have 6 drivers electing to stay out. Brandon Mir going to jump all the way from the back of the field. He was way off the pace in the back of the field, obviously getting involved in the incident there with Tim Lee. But now he finds himself all the way up to 6th, just like that. Again, we still got the second half of this race to go. Still got certainly pit strategy and tire strategy to play out in this thing. But, man, yeah, as great as this series has been all season, they're having some issues here tonight, to say the least.
I mean, if anybody was doubting whether they wanted to run this car next season or not, and was on the fence, I mean, maybe this race was really putting them on where, hey, let's switch cars or whatever. But yeah, they're definitely having some issues here with the next-gen cars here at Iowa. Obviously, turn 4 being the trouble corner here tonight for most drivers, and seen a few people just kind of, you know, lose it and then come down through the grass. Some people trying to save it. These next gen cars are such a handful. Once you lose control of them, Carl, to get them going the right way, and I don't know, there's just something about them. I love driving these cars. Just definitely, I'm with the other drivers on this one when you start losing it. It's just a handful to hold on to. So Amir's going to go ahead and bring it down into pit stop. So up front was just a I don't know, the decision that he figured that maybe not the right one that he needed, knowing that maybe they can make it enough laps where maybe they can go for one more stop. So we'll see. I'm not quite sure in their fuel mileage because of all the cautions. So we'll definitely see who can execute them good pit stops or pit strategies in between all these cautions and put themselves in a place to finish up front here. But right now, that person is Joshua Divers on a number 57, followed by Mike Hasties. Eric Blount, the pole setter, back up in a P number 3. So we know that he has the speed, and turn 4 kind of claimed him early and had a big wreck there, and he's worked his way back up through the field. So we'll see if that 6 can continue his march back to the front and maybe get some laps out here yet tonight.
Yeah, we'll see if we're going to double this thing up again or if we're going to go single file racing as the pace car lights are still on. But yeah, going back to your comment about the handling of this car, I almost feel like these cars kind of remind me of like slot cars. Like they're absolutely on rails in a groove. But then once they get loose, you're not really saving them. They're going to hop out of that slot car position and they're gone. Very, very seldom are you able to save it. If you do save it, it's probably from locking it up and just going almost all the way to a complete stop before you save it. I mean, if you're trying to save it at full speed, it's tough to wrangle this thing in. But pace car lights should be out this time by. And indeed they are. We'll see if we're going to double up. And yeah, indeed, we're going to double this thing back up.
Yeah, I think iRacing, maybe I got the handling from my Tyco racetrack from when I was a kid.
Absolutely. I think the first one I ever had was a Super Duper Double Looper. And it's a name that you're never going to forget.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
5 years old or whatever it was, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure what racetrack my dad got me, but it was probably about 60 feet of track that I had throughout the whole house.
Fantastic.
And I had they actually didn't have slots. Basically, they had these copper rails in the front, and there was 3 different wires that ran through the track, like three different sets of 3. So like one car would be like super wide and the other one would be like one in the middle and one to the right.
Yeah.
And then you could put a car on the track that would just be a blocker and go back and forth, but you had to try to pass them. It was a lot of fun. I remember that.
Nice.
And I was only like 5, I think, when I had 4 or 5 years old when I had this thing. But definitely take you back to the days of the slot car.
The good old days.
But right now it is Joshua Divers out front. Mike Hasty looking to possibly get around. Oh, got some trouble back there. Ty Marasco down to the inside.
And Marasco going to take to pit lane. I'm not sure if that was designed or not. I'm going to guess probably not, but it might have been either that or hitting those barrels at the beginning of pit road. So the one...
He was also going off track as well.
No, actually, he was slowing down. He is coming into pit road there, so that is very interesting. But the 45 gets clipped up in the mess there, and Tim Williams going to go through the grass here on the front stretch. But green flag still going to be out here, and we are again on lap number 82 right now. So again, we still have about 70, actually 60. Can't even math right now. 68 laps to go here at the line. But Marasco back out there. Yeah, I'm kind of confused on that little move right there, because he didn't pit. He went through pit lane and then came back out. So not sure if he felt that it was going to crash, or maybe he had a drive-through. I mean, not even thinking about that part of it. Maybe he had a drive-through or a stop and go. But if it was a stop and go, I think we would have still seen the pit thing kind of pop up here on SDK. But the 33, man, got a feel for him. Rough night here. for Brandon Meir, as he clearly had a fast race car out here tonight, but not able to showcase it here ever since about lap 30. But 3 wide racing back here. Michael Pratt, I don't even know how many times he's gone back to front here tonight, but he's trying to work his way back up through there, up into the top 10 right now with the pass on Paleschi.
Yeah, and you know these drivers are really, I think, I mean, I know I would be tiptoeing through turn 4 as best as possible without wrecking this thing, and getting down the grass, you can see how it'll really throw your race off or put you behind, especially if you're up front. But definitely 3 wide right there as Blount stays at a high side, but a run there by the 77 Michael Pratt is going to make them go 3 wide and down to turn number 1 out. Andrew Paleschi downside, 0-2 up high.
Almost getting Hemi Gherardini up there, but looks like they're all going to sort it out. And yeah, again, all these cautions are breeding cautions because the guys are starting to try and get after it quickly because they don't know when that next caution is going to come out. But so far, so good here as we keep this thing going. Joshua Divers out in the lead. Mike Hasty, Dalton Kilroe, John Garrett, and Justin Lewis, your top 5. But 3 wide battling back here. The back half of the top 10. You know, Cody Griffin on the outside, Andrew Paleschi on the inside, Michael Pratt right in that middle. So there's certainly 3 different lines that you can run out here tonight, but there's a bump. Paleschi's going to do a good job saving it as the 77 just got a little loose coming off the corner. Shocker in turn number 4. But a good job for all 3 of them saving it on that one.
Yeah, definitely a good job saving it on that one. Trying to see, back with Cade Green, just doing his thing, just trying to be consistent here. He's found himself up to P number 15, so good drive back there as he started in P16. So 19 still keeping that thing going after being quite a few laps down. Now trying to work his way through the field with consistency. And we have a new leader too. Dalton Kilroe in that number 41 finds his way to the front here in front of Joshua Divers.
And take a look and see. It looks like Tom Marasco did end up losing a lap there after going through pit lane, so that's why he's stuck back there in that 19th position right now. But yeah, Dalton Kilroe, your points leader, first time we've seen him out front tonight, and it passes his championship contender there, Joshua Divers, to get to the lead. So the 41 out there out front, Joshua Divers, Mike Hasty, John Garrett, and Justin Lewis now your top 5. Brian Dees, Cody Griffin, Tyler Hilton, Hemi Gherardini, and Maxwell Caldwell in the top 10.
Brian Dees a little easy on the throttle coming out of 4 as the 48 of Cody Griffin there on the outside. Able to make the pass up on the high side, so probably just letting off that throttle, you know, just knowing that somebody's out there, so you can move, let that car go by, and you know, get back on another run here. Just still plenty of racing still remaining, still in the 57 laps remaining here, 58, and definitely probably one of the longest green flag runs so far here tonight. So I don't think they can make it the rest of the way, but it looks like we have Len McNeese off the track. See what happened to Len McNeese here. Coming off of 4, you're in loose.
Yeah, already sideways through 3, and then all the way through 4, all the way onto the front stretch, but it's off line, off the track, so it is not going to be a caution here tonight. But that is certainly going to be some damage there on the 84 as he gets passed and now lapped. Kilroe is out there in the lead, and he's got the biggest lead we've seen all night. Now, he did take tires on lap at number 75, and it looks like he's one of the few up there towards the front. The next one that took tires on that pit stop around lap 75 would be Cody Griffin back there in 6th place. So there's a reason that he is up there in the front, but man, hard impact there for Justin Lewis coming out of 4, trying to save it, and just really smack that wall.
Almost like he used the wall in order to save the car. So hopefully he didn't do too much damage to that 07 as he's currently sitting in P number 5. Gardini, I missed that one. It looks like Hemi had some issues too.
Gets tagged there from the 81 of Paleshi. Sends it down through the grass and hard impact there, and that's going to break the car. You heard the engine blow right there, so he towed it back to pit lane. I mean, I talked almost all season that I was looking forward to Iowa. I don't think these guys are ever going to look forward to Iowa again. And oh man, hard impact there for the 81 and the 19. Cade Green then sliding down through pit road. Everything that Cade Green's gone through to get those laps back here tonight. And then that happens right there. That is a shame for the 19. But, I mean, is anybody going to... I stand corrected, Jimmy. This is a short track, clearly, because you look out there at the cars, there's not too many that are clean anymore. Again, I apologize. I'm just going to shut up the rest of the night. I think just about everything I said tonight has been wrong, so I'm done.
Yeah, so right now it is Dalton Kill out front. Joshua Divers has made it back into P2, but John Garrett not going away, looking to take away that second spot and start maybe tracking down that number 41 on Dalton Kilroso. But doing good so far. Still seeing some, turn 4 still be in the troublesome spot. So it's going to be interesting, Carl. If it would come down to the end of the race and a 4 position spot, we're going to have to almost get this thing done in like 1 and 2, or before 3. So because that exit of 4 has just been so bad tonight.
Well, now the question that's coming on my mind is, are these guys good to go if they pit on lap number 75, 76? Some of these guys just recently coming in with some issues and some damage, but we're actually on a bit of a green flag run right now, and we've got probably 2/3 of the field that pit on lap number 75 or 76, but there's a few like Joshua Divers, Mike Hasty, Eric Blunt, that pit on lap number 50. We've gone that now 52 laps. Granted, a few of those have been under caution, but you start to wonder, can those guys that pit on lap number 75 make it all the way to the end? I mean, it's been 50 plus laps right now for the drivers that are out there that pit on lap number 50. So this could get very interesting here to see who's going to come in, I mean, clearly guys that pit on lap 50 have to come in, but this is, I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore because we really had a green flag run here tonight. But Michael Pratt pit on lap number 76. Now he's going to come in here on lap number 103. Most likely get some tires and try and charge up through this field.
Yeah, Michael Pratt, Mike Taylor in the pits. Andrew Paleshi and Cade Green still in the pits as well from earlier incident. But yeah, we might, those Michael Pratt might be pitting now in order to make sure he can make it all the way. So maybe they're just going to be a little bit short.
Either way, 4 tires and fuel for the 77, and maybe going to try and work a little bit of a short pit action here to try and gain some track position. As the 45 there, Tim Williams going to pull back out on the track after making his pit stop. Mike Taylor in the pits now as well. But out front, Dalton Kilroe enjoying a 6-second lead over the 48 of Cody Griffin. John Garrett in third, Maxwell Caldwell, Joshua Divers, your top 5. As we are under 50 laps remaining in the season.
Final lap remaining here, and it's been a great time up here just watching these drivers battle each week. From the great finishes up front to the awesome battles in the middle, and we got Hastings.
Wow, that thing is destroyed. I think it's Crab walking down the front stretch. He's going to have to bring it in. You see, it's clearly stepped to the left in the rear end there, so he'd be lucky to get that thing back around. I mean, unless I'm looking at it cockeyed here from the booth, but that thing does not look fun to drive. But he's gonna keep that thing out there. I mean, maybe it'll tighten it up a little bit. Maybe it'll make it a little easier to drive.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any kind of damage to that 72. I just know that he had one heck of a time trying to save it. And you see how bumpy the track is too. The rear end kind of bouncing around as we're falling around the 72 here. You're heading down to turn number 3 and getting ready for that infamous turn 4 there as he makes his way through there on a little bit of a higher note. So, you know, something that's probably working for the 72 so far, and get down in this. We'll go ahead. Oh, never mind.
Now he's got some damage.
Now he's got some front end damage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I was drinking tonight, but with all the mistakes that I made, and even looking at Hasty there, I would have swore that he was kind of crab walking down the front stretch, looking at his car compared to the other ones. But clearly, I'm wrong again. So I'm just, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't remember drinking tonight, but I probably made a mistake there too. I don't know.
You had a premonition.
I mean, it was pretty hot at my son's baseball practice today. Maybe that sun beating down on me fried a few brain cells or something. But either way, yeah. I mean, I was drinking the Gatorade right with him, but maybe that Gatorade was spiked or something. But either way, we are now on lap number 112, so it's starting to click away now, and we still see Joshua Divers out there. And again, he is one of those guys that pit on lap number 50, so that's 62 laps. And again, that magic number is 75 for the guys that pit on, right at that halfway mark to see if they can stretch it all the way to the end. We're seeing some pit stops here and there, but not really a mass exodus to get into pit lane, as the top 10 still have yet to come down to make what would end up being their final pit stop.
Well, I guess our key driver right now is see if they can make it that 75 laps is going to be the Joshua Driver there in the 57. I would say the last time he was in was like 50. So he's the one that's been out there the longest right now, trying to stretch this thing, and obviously in a good position to try to secure some spots here, as we got some people down in pit lane now, trying to get fuel for the rest of the run. And I'm sure the people that are coming in right now there at 112, 102 definitely have fuel for the rest of the way. But if something were to happen, a caution to come out, I'll go ahead and I'll show the gap here. You can see.
Divers gets a little loose there.
Yeah. So right now, only 8 cars on the lead lap. So definitely would be some easy positions held on to, I guess. If a caution were to fly anytime in the next 10 laps.
Well, I feel that's why guys like Divers and Blunt have stayed out there as long as they have. They're expecting a caution to come out. I mean, at this point, we've had I think 8 cautions in the first 70 laps, and then we've gone green. So this is it's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde type of race out here tonight. But it looks like they finally figured out a turn number 4, at least for the time being. I mean, we're still seeing some guys struggle and smack the wall or get sent down to the inside, but no cautions for quite some time, as we are coming up on the final laps of the season. Again, I want to send a thank you out to all the sponsors that have helped out this year: Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs, and everything that Tim Lee does to put this thing on. It's been a fun series to broadcast for sure, and a lot of great racing. And if you're a racer out there watching in, make sure you get in contact with either of us, get in contact with Tim Lee or any of these drivers out here, and get yourself ready for season 2, because still not sure when that season is going to drop, but if it's anything like this one, it's a fun one filled with a lot of talent.
Yeah, definitely a lot of talent out here, and a lot of potential with the drivers that weren't up front on a more consistent basis, but we definitely had our fair share of different drivers up there. Maxwell Caldwell's still searching for some great finishes. John Garrett, we've seen have some great runs. Eric Blount, obviously getting the pole here tonight, so definitely has the speed to be up there. And a lot of others, Justin Lewis being a little newer to the series, could have been one of those drivers that put a hamper on Dalton Kilroe's run there. Michael Pratt, his strat to start from the back to go to the front pretty much but 90% of the races, you know, and you know, you even got to win. So definitely a lot of people out there. But Joshua Divers in 5 laps short of 75 laps, Carl.
Man, yeah, this just got even more interesting now. Now the question is that kind of the dummy move by Divers to say, oh yeah, definitely can't make it that far on fuel, and kind of forcing these drivers' hands out there, still needing to maybe come into pit lane. Obviously, Eric Blunt's still out there. He pit on lap number 50, so we'll see when he decides to come in, because it looks like he is. He's going to try and stretch this thing out to that 75 laps, and that's really not good if he can, because if he doesn't get a caution, he is going to be quite a ways back here, and going to be joining Joshua Divers outside the top 10 to finish this thing out. But John Garrett now is going to come in from inside the top 10, so it's anyone's game, I guess. I mean, right now it's an 8.7 second lead for Dalton Kilroe. So if there's any chance to be able to stretch this thing out and maybe needing to save a lap or two of fuel, he's starting to build up enough of a gap that he can kind of clutch that thing in a little bit and maybe save if he needs to.
Yeah, I think he's in. If he can save the fuel, he's pretty much got it in the bag. But it's definitely if he's got a big enough gap. So we'll see if that 41 can make it work here tonight. You know what? It came down to a race with plenty of cautions to start this thing off, and to now a fairly large green flag run here late in this race, and a way to finish it up here is, you know, obviously what the drivers want to do. So just now can the 41 reel this thing in and wrap this season up here. But Mike Casey's crashed, and the yellow flag is out.
Got a late race caution, and forget any strategies. That is going to bring everybody in. Now the question is, who's on the lead lap? We only got 6 cars on the lead lap. Justin Lewis, the first one lap down, so he should be the lucky dog unless he was involved in this somehow. So give us 7 drivers on the lead lap. That is it. Man, it feels like you know, this whole race we've had everybody on the lead lap, and you know, all the way up through the halfway point, everybody on the lead lap. But now, this second half has had a long green flag run, and we've only got 6 drivers that are in the mix for this win.
Divers and the 52 getting together across the start finish line there. So Divers he won't be that lucky dog, as he was involved.
Well, it wasn't Divers, it was Justin Lewis. That was the lucky dog. But here comes Dalton Kilroe. Maxwell Caldwell gonna come in. Looks like the one of Ty Marasco gonna come in. Not sure if the pit road was open for Ty Marasco here, but he's gonna come in anyway to take his pit stop. But man, this thing is gonna get interesting now. Dalton Kilroe looking for win number 7 on the season, and I mean, no better way to win a championship than to win on the last night of the season and really cap it off and kind of stick it to the other drivers and make them really have to think and wonder what can they do on this off season to pick up some time, pick up some speed to get a win over that number 41. But this is gonna be interesting to see how this thing plays out, and see if anybody decides to take any other strategy short of 4 tires of fuel. Looks like everybody going for the 4 tire option. Actually, Justin Lewis just going for, looks like, fuel only. So lucky dog to second place for the time being, but I'm not sure if that's because he doesn't have any tires in the pits or not. But the lucky dog is going to have to go to the back of the line here anyway. So we'll see if he maybe didn't realize that, and he's going to come back in and get those tires. But looks like he may be stuck. And speaking of stuck, it looks like Ty Marasco, they're at the front of pit lane, and maybe he didn't realize the pit road was not open for him that time by, since he was a lap car.
He had to pit. Or he would have ran out of gas. We've seen that happen too, for somebody who's stretching fuel. But either way, not the break that Ty Marasco wanted tonight. Definitely back in P number 13 right now. Dalton Kilroe, fantastic season, and been able to so far tame this track. Has definitely had us guessing when he came down little bit earlier, but this is currently sitting in P number 1. Maxwell Caldwell up 15 spots here tonight, and then number 95 for P number 2. Cody Griffin up 13 spots. Justin Lewis sitting there in P number 4 currently. And Eric Blount, after starting on the pole, back up to P number 5. So, great turnaround there, 4 to 6. Brian Dees up 5 spots to P number 6. Tyler Hilton's in 7th. Your last car on the lead lap, and then it's going to be John here in 8th. Michael Pratt, Mike Taylor, Mike Hasty, Joshua Divers, Ty Marasco. Actually, yeah, Mike Taylor in P number 10. They're 1 lap down. And Mike Hasty will start 2 laps with Joshua Divers, Ty Marasco, and Kenny Gurney. And then 3 laps down, Tim Williams and Ron McNeese. And then the rest of the field are pretty much out. Gillespie is back out on the track. But Cade Green, Brandon Meir, and Tim Lee have all taken. Looks like Tim's still sitting in his car, but definitely have made the adventure, the trek to their hauler tonight. So, but back up front here as we're getting ready to go back to green, we're gonna go jump on board with Dalton Kilroe. A lot of cars are looking to get that one of those laps back. Especially John
we'll see how many.
Michael Pratt.
See how many are actually going to be on the lead lap of this one, as quite a few are going to take that wave around right now. But yeah, I mean, Dalton Kilroe start off the season, well, best way you can do it. Won at Daytona to start the season off and took the points lead immediately. Lost points lead for a few races to his teammate Derek Paulson, but once he regained it, he did not let it go. Again, he's looking for his 7th win on the season here tonight, and looking to be winner of 3 of the last 4 races. One at Darlington a few weeks ago, then one last week at Indy. So looking to go back-to-back to finish out the season. And he's only got 20 laps to go when this thing gets restarted, but he's got Maxwell Caldwell on the outside, Cody Griffin, Eric Blunt, Brian Dees, Tyler Hilton, Justin Lewis, the 7 cars on the lead lap as we are back racing at Iowa.
Back racing there. The 95 tried to drop down from the 48. 48 did not give him the room. Said, no, thank you. You must stay up there. But now they're 2 wide heading out of 2. We'll see how they handle turn number 4.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had a caution and a restart, so we'll see how these drivers handle these cold tires in turn number 4 and see if they can all make it through. It's like so far so good. Fingers crossed that they can finish this thing under green. Dalton Kilroe, that big old lead that he had, almost 9 seconds, is gone. It is wiped out. Now he's going to win this thing on sheer speed. I don't put it past him. He's already got a nice little lead here on Caldwell, who's still battling a little bit as Cody Griffin does not want to go away, but now Maxwell Caldwell finally gets enough of a clearance here. But back behind them, Tyler Hilton having a good run here tonight on the inside of Eric Blunt, your pole sitter for the race, has had an interesting race, to put it bluntly. I mean, no pun intended, as it was on lap number 2 where he got into an incident by himself, got in between those 2 seams at the top, turned the car, wrecked it, had to go back to the back of the field, and long story short, he is up there in the top 5 with 17 laps to go.
We've seen the 6, have some pretty decent runs throughout the season, and here definitely had the speed in order to grab the pole, and I think turn 4 has got him a little on edge as it, shell shocker off the rip, so either way, he's doing a fantastic job. Currently sitting in PM 6 as Brian Dees was able to work around him. Only other car that could pass him would be Justin Lewis, and he's towards the back of the field being that lucky dog, but Dalton Kilroe out front with 16 laps remaining.
Yeah, starting to stretch out that lead as well, out to 0.8 of a second over Caldwell, who has got a small advantage over Cody Griffin, Tyler Hilton, Brian Dees. But you look back here, the battle in the back half of the top 10 as Ty Marasco. I mean, it's tough to tell how many laps these guys down and who's actually battling for position, because there's so many guys that are not on the lead lap, and just tough to figure out who is battling who at this point. But considering Ty Marasco had that incident where he had to drive through the pits and then pitting not on his pit lap this last time by. He has still got a decent spot here up into 12th position right now. Again, doesn't look like he is going to get the win on the final night. He's going to have to wait until season 2 if he decides to come back out here. But we've got 13 laps left in this thing. It's already out to a 1.3 second lead for Kilroe. He wants to bookend this season with wins.
Definitely, putting a staple on the season, that's for sure.
I want to thank everybody that tuned in here tonight for the Virtual Velocity Racing Cup Car Series finale at Iowa. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer.
Brian Dees was waiting just a certain point before he hits that throttle coming out of 4, and it's probably best bet there is seeing the 02 Tyler Hilton just get a little bit loose, jumping down to the bottom as they're side by side heading down on the back stretch.
Yeah, it looked like, Tyler Hilton shot off the screen so quickly with getting loose. I thought he was down in the grass and out of it. All of a sudden, I heard that the engine coming back to the inside there. And he is ultimately going to lose that position, but a good fight there from the 0-2, and still not done with Brian Dees as these guys battle for the 4th and 5th positions here on the track. Eric Blunt back there in 6th place. Justin Lewis, the last one on the lead lap, in 7th. And then leading the one lap down cars, John Garrett in 8th. Michael Pratt and Mike Taylor rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, so don't go out at 2 seconds. As long as this thing goes green, and that's a big if, as we still have 9 laps remaining here in Iowa. So been a very interesting night and a good season there for the 41. So good to see the 41 finishing this thing up out front where he belongs. Maxwell Caldwell digging deep, trying to catch him here in the final remaining laps. But I think turn 4 has really made some of these drivers a little weary and really taking their time going through 4, and it's really going to be down to those last final laps to see if somebody can really push it there as the 2 really closes the gap there on the 17.
7 laps left in the season before we shut the lights down for at least a few months on Thursday nights here for the Virtual Velocity Racing Series. We've got to crown our final winner of the season. Looks like it is going to be the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Going to grab the final win on the season and the points title to boot, but never know what can happen. We've seen these cars step out very easily in that turn 4, and even seen every once in a while in turn 2 as well. But these drivers seem to have kind of wrangled them in here a little bit in the second half of the race, and it literally took the first half of the race to kind of figure it out, as we've had a bunch of caution in the first half of the race, but then that nice long green flag run before you had a late caution that really caught some drivers out and down a lap or 2 from having to pit early, and it's left us with just these 7 drivers on the lead lap, but nobody has had the speed to catch that 41. 2.75 second lead here, 5 laps to go.
Oh, Tim Williams went off the track. So that 10. Turn 4.
Yeah, I'm going to guess. I'm a venture. Yeah.
Yep.
A little lawn maintenance here. Help them pay the dues.
Not what Dalton wants to see right now is winding up the drivers back up to his bumper, but see him move there by Brian Dees trying to get around Cody Griffin. 48 has been pretty consistent in being up front here tonight. He does have a little bit of right front damage though, I believe, so I wonder if that's hindering his car at all. But the 17 looking to make a pass here, and coming out of 4, we'll see if he can make it stick.
Yeah, the 0-2 of Tyler Hilton has not let go of Brian Dees. He's right there in the mix. 3 cars under a blanket for the final spot on the podium right now. Looks like Dalton Kilbro has got 1.5 laps to get this done, grab win number 7 on the season. Maxwell Caldwell in second place. Another good run there for the 95, but this is the battle for the final spot on the podium, the final chance to talk to us. And how about this? The 17 sending it on the outside, using the wall to keep him straight. Still battling side by side. The 48 has got the inside, but the 17 maybe going to use that outside, pinches him down, they make contact. This thing is not over by any means. The race is going to be over for the win as a 41 of Dalton Kilbro going to get it done. How about this? 3 wide. Tyler Hilton trying to steal it on the inside. He gets tagged. Hard impact. Brian Dees going to get it home in third. Backwards, Tyler Hilton is going to bring it home in 6th place. Man, Hilton went for the dive, and I don't blame him, especially last race of the season. Had plenty of time to fix that car back up. He sent it down on the inside, seen them battling up high. But what a finish to the race, to the season. That was pretty special.
Check that out one more time here at the end. See this battle here unfold as Brian Dees is going to the outside. O2 see this opportunity. This is the last lap here for these 3 drivers. You can see how hard they're battling. You see the 48 maybe blocking just a little bit to keep the 17 high. Doesn't work very well as the 17 was able to get a good run. They bump going before they go down the backstretch. Now they're going on the backstretch. It ruins their run, but the O2 sees the opportunity to go deep down into turn number 3. Has the pass made, but loses the rear end. Oh, and the 48 just tags him as he tags the wall, and the 17 will take P3 away. So Dalton Kilbro with the win here tonight, and Maxwell Caldwell with P number 2, our biggest mover, finishing second.
I feel like if that O2 wasn't there, the 48 may have had a chance. It almost kind of looked like he was going for a bit of the crossover there and get to the underneath of the 17, but never had the chance to. As the 41 is going to be your winner for the 7th time this season, and wait to get him in the victory lane interview here after he gets done with his burnouts, and we'll bring in all of our top 3 here. But great race to finish out the season. It certainly started out a bit hairy, a bit scary, and I don't think anybody wants to see Iowa, let alone turn 4, anymore the rest of the year. The rest of hopefully it's not on the schedule for them next season is probably what they're looking at. But I mean, they figured it out in the second half of this race and made a good race of it.
Yeah, I mean, it really took that first half of the race for the drivers kind of let the turn 4 kind of handle themselves and make them scarce and ease up the way they were working their throttle, but they definitely took the time to finally get things down a little bit better here tonight. Dalton Kilbro maximizes the clean air up front and walks away here the winner. Maxwell Caldwell, another great finish by the Merkle number 95, and obviously Brian Dees with a great battle there at the end with Cody Griffin and Eric. Cody Griffin, Brian Dees, and who's the other? Oh, the O2 of Tyler Hilton. So Eric Blunt was able to get a position there, finishing in P number 5. So great bounce back there for the number 6.
Well, we've got our top 3 ready for the last podium interviews here of the season, and we're going to start it out. Once we get a rundown of the full result here, it was Dalton Kilbro taking home the win. Maxwell Caldwell, Brian Dees, Cody Griffin, Eric Blunt, your top 5. Then we got Tyler Hilton, Justin Lewis, John Garrett, Michael Pratt, and Mike Taylor rounding out your top 10. Joshua Divers, Ty Marasco, Mike Casey, Hemi Gherardini, Tim Williams, Len McNeese, Andrew Pileshi, Cade Green, Brandon Meir, and Tim Lee going to round out your 20-car field. First one we'll bring in here is going to be the 3rd place finisher, and that is going to be the 17 of Brian Dees. Brian, heck of a battle at the end of the race. I mean, this thing was a battle of attrition in the first half of the race. Tons of incidents here all the way through the first half of the race. But once you guys kind of figured it out, and really it was turn 4. I mean, how tough was it at turn 4? It seemed like everybody had issues.
When the tires started to wear out a little bit, it was definitely getting interesting. Kind of had to run the perfect line it seemed like as the tires wore out a little bit, the line kind of drifted up towards the top. I think down low was working early in the runs, but yeah, eventually at some point had to move up there.
Well, talk to us about the end of the race now. I mean, it was a heck of a battle there with the 48. You guys were bumping and banging, rubbing paint. I mean, you guys don't have to worry about fixing these cars for a few months here for the series if you're going to come back with these cars at all. But you guys didn't leave anything on the table, and then all of a sudden you get into turn 3 on the final lap, and not sure if you seen it at all, but you guys were 3 wide as Tyler Hilton sent it on the inside.
Yeah, I saw it. I definitely knew it, and the way we were kind of, we'll say, nudging each other. I think it was a lap previous. I kind of thought he was going to try to push me up high. So I wanted to make sure I gave room. I don't usually like to race like that, beating and banging. And definitely don't want to end up wrecking somebody. So definitely wanted to make sure I gave him enough room. I thought if I had the high line, especially coming through 3 and 4, I was pretty confident I was going to be able to get the run off and beat him to the line. So that's pretty much what I was looking at.
Well, you get a podium here to finish out the season. Kind of give us a wrap-up of the season. How do you feel like the season went for you? Do you feel like maybe you left some out there, or you're looking forward to the next season?
I definitely missed a few races, and there was a couple of races in there that didn't quite go my way like I thought they would. But overall, it was a great season. This is a great league. Had a lot of fun. Thank you to all the admins putting this on, especially to Tim. Again, can't really say enough good things.
Well, congrats again on the podium here tonight, and a good way to kind of finish out the season, finishing up there on the podium. But before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Gotta give a thanks to the league sponsors, Gold Lion Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, Hilton Craft and Design. Thanks to you guys at Core Racing Network. Gotta thank my teammates as well for, first of all, even getting me into this league. I didn't race at the very start. They kind of pulled me in. I'm glad they did. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. So definitely got to thank the team sponsor, Michael Falker at MF Racing Designs.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on the podium. We'll let you go celebrate this one with the team, and we'll hopefully see you next season.
Yep, sounds good. Sound good. Yeah, can't talk. Sounds good, guys. It's been a long season, a long night.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, buddy. We'll take care.
See ya.
That's your third place finish here tonight, the 17 of Brian Dees. Second place is going to be the 95 of Maxwell Caldwell.
Hey, Maxwell, Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. Cappy.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, one heck of a run tonight with all the issues that everybody was having coming out of turn number 4. It really seemed like the car got upset as everybody was trying to exit and get on the throttle. I don't know if it was just the way the track position was or if there was a certain bump or something there, but definitely seemed like a lot of drivers were having their fair share of issues, even some of the drivers that we usually see up front here. But you're able to walk away here with a pretty substantial second place finish here. We're just behind Dalton Kilrow, but I want to say congratulations to that and give you a little bit of time to, let us know how your race was out there and how your season actually was overall.
Season, I couldn't run full. I had to kind of start, stop a little bit. So I knew I wasn't in it for the points, but just getting to run here on Thursday nights with all these guys and with the teammates has been a lot of fun when I could, though. And tonight was kind of like a little bit of redemption. Kind of had a slump there for about a month, but feels good to be back up in the top 3 again in this league. Started terribly. I kind of messed up my second qualifying lap. Barely nicked the wall out of 4, so we started 17th tonight and made our way up to P2. I'd say that's a success. And even in practice, I knew Dalton. He had the car to beat in practice. We ran a mock race run and he just took off. So right there at the end was just a repeat of practice. I knew what was coming, so I was fighting for second. So with that being the case, I had a great run tonight. You talk about issues out of 4. I didn't really have issues out of 4, but I think that had a lot to do with the right foot with a lot of them. So if you watched my car any in the runs, you would notice everybody else wanted to run that mid to top, and I stayed kind of like a Kevin Harvick, Mark Martin bottom feeder line and just stayed on the bottom, and eventually I would be able to run up there. And even one of the restarts where I stayed out when everybody pitted to get the track position, I had 30, 40 lap older tires, and I was still able to run up there with the leaders because of how much they were burning that right rear on that middle and high groove. So me and Dalton were two guys that were pretty committed to the bottom most of the night, and we finished 1-2. So I think that's a testament of this track chews the right rear up a lot, and it was real easy to. It was snug, so if you put too much wheel in it and you hit the bumps, it would really knock it loose and kind of make you get loose, but it wasn't that the car was loose itself, if that makes sense. Once the right side started wearing, you got a little slidey, but it was like a push slide, so I thought the car was snug all night myself. I wish it had a little bit more center rotation, but outside of that, Iowa was a big concern with these next gens. I'm not normally a fan of them here, but solid second place run from 17th, so I guess I can't complain about that too much, can I?
I definitely can't complain about a 15-point position gain throughout the night. And matter of fact, you were the biggest mover of the evening as well. So, but yeah, all the races that you've been part of here, for VVR and to watch you here at CRN, you've always had some pretty decent runs, and it's always, we've had the pleasure of talking to you here before. So it's good to see you back up here before the last race of the season. Hopefully we'll see you next season, and maybe you'll be able to participate in the full thing or most of it and get a better challenge there for Dalton for that points run. But good luck, good driving tonight, and congratulations, and we'll give you a little bit of time for any shots you may have on that number 95.
Yeah, thank you guys. First and foremost, got to give a shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Man, what a blessing it is. He's allowed me to, have the blessing of this equipment and be able to meet all these amazing people in VVR. Joined it just as a buddy invited, just to see if we could have some fun, just kick back, relax. And it turned out it's one of my favorite leagues I run now. So it's always fun. Other leagues, I get real competitive, real super stressed out. And here I just don't. It's just a big group of buddies. And even when Dalton or someone from the other team, even if they get rough with us or beat us, we'll get in a Discord chat and just get to hang out and laugh about it at the end. So it's a really good group of guys. Looking forward to the next season, hoping my schedule works out right. So job change over the summer is what kind of shook some things up. So, but thankful for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him I wouldn't have this blessing. Got to thank Merkel Racing Engines for being on the car. Todd runs in here some. He's out of town tonight, so he couldn't run with us, but he's a huge supporter of the team. And speaking of the team, got the teammates Andrew Palesci and Justin Lewis to thank, man. We just work together in here and just have a heck of a time. And for once, it felt good to beat those two guys. They got speed each and every week. I know y'all have had Andrew winning a few races, so it's good to beat them tonight. And thankful for you guys in the booth and just the league owners themselves, man. You two together just make this league so much fun, and it's always good to go back. Y'all have a great professional broadcast to watch, and a lot of the guys tell me how much they enjoy going back and watching it. So y'all do a great job, and I hope we can see y'all back next season too.
Well, on the table so far, we've been asked to come back, so more than likely CRN will be up here yet again for the next season. So we look forward to seeing y'all out there, and definitely seeing that 95 running up front again, and hopefully that you'll have a fantastic next season as well. But congratulations on that second place finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is your second place finish here tonight, the 95 of Maxwell Caldwell. Last but not least, we talked to him once or twice this season. Well, I mean, no better way to end that championship run than with a win. Dalton, your 7th win on the season. And you kind of weren't really there for the first half of the race, and you kind of had to sit through a bunch of cautions until everybody figured out how to finally handle turn number 4. But either way, once you got up to the front, you had those new tires you checked out, late race caution. Did it scare you at all? Were you worried at all and concerned with some of those drivers, kind of getting right back behind you after you had that 8-9 second lead?
A little bit. I knew they were going to be on fresher rubber, but I knew I was saving my stuff pretty well, so I wasn't going to be holding them up, and I could be I could be a little more lenient with what line I needed to take, because it wouldn't be like, oh crap, my car won't turn in the corner if I try to go on the top. For that run, I was good to go. I didn't need a caution. I didn't need to pit. I didn't need any of that. But I was just kind of chilling. I know start of the race, I started a little bit lower than I wanted to, because I took a little bit too long getting back into the sim once qualifying started. So I only got a lap. I was a tenth and a half up on my first lap, which would have put me P1. and that was just coming out of turn 2. I was probably going to put it on pole with that lap, but just kind of got cut off there and just kind of took it easy for most of the race. And then once the fresh tires got on there, I was just chilling and was able to luckily get away from anybody else with those fresh tires after that last yellow, and just kind of cruise to it.
So, I mean, you come home, you win 3 out of the last 4 races, and they're on kind of the tougher tracks on the schedule. I mean, you won at Darlington, which Darlington is Darlington. I mean, you're
well, I lucked into Darlington.
You did
because 81.
But you still needed to be in the right spot, and that's where you were. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, for Paleshi, the internet or iRacing gremlins got him on that one, but you were still, you still had a good run nonetheless. And then you went to Indy last week, which is obviously a different track than anything else on the schedule. And then tonight at Iowa, I mean, this thing drove like a short track. Yeah, there were 3-4 different grooves out there that you could run, which is not typical of a short track, but very few cars left this thing without any scrapes or bruises on it.
Yeah, I even had a moment earlier in the race because I had, I think I had driven up to like 4th or 5th or something like that from the start, and then had a caution like 15 laps into it or something, and I just pit for fuel, and somebody got loose in front of me and was like sideways in the middle of the track. I locked it up and hit the outside wall, so I think I had a little bit of wheel damage the entire race. So I don't know if that's going to make anybody else feel any better or not, but but no, I got 2x from that. That's how hard I hit the wall. I guess I was just lucky that it wasn't worse and didn't actually snap a tie rod or a toe link or something, because that could have derailed things a lot sooner.
So talk to us about the season. Again, we can highlight the 7 wins that you had on the season, but I talked before the race. I mean, 15 out of 20 races in the top 5, and now it's 16 out of 21 that you've showed up to here tonight in the top 5. I mean, that's amazing consistency no matter what league you're in, but in a league like this where there's plenty of talent out here, it's not like it's a lack of talent in this league. To put it in the top 5 that much is pretty much going to lock you into the championship regardless. So what was it like to have that kind of success here in season 1?
It was definitely a good confidence boost after having quite a few lows, and I think I've even mentioned it whenever I haven't been winning and I've just been like 3rd. Getting out of a rut and getting some of that self-confidence back to where I know I can actually get up here and do this again and keep winning, putting myself in good positions and not getting the bad luck bug. Definitely has helped in other leagues that I've been racing in too. It's not just here. Hopefully I can keep the momentum up, especially going into next season. I don't know when that's gonna start, but I do plan on being back, and hopefully we can have another good season.
Absolutely. Well, you're going to have a big season to come off of here, and going to be tough to top this one here for sure. But congrats on the win here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to one last time?
Obviously, I got to thank MFRD, the whole squad for showing up. Derek in chat for talking his smack like I know he likes to do when he's not racing. Gotta thank you guys obviously for broadcasting the entire season. I keep saying it, but I love going back and watching everything just to kind of see what all happened that I didn't see here in the car. Gotta thank Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, Hilton Crafts and Designs, and everybody else at Virtual Velocity Racing for putting the league on, making it what it is. And every other driver out there for making me earn it, because it wasn't like I just walked in the park. Like you said, it's not like this league don't got talent. This league's got talent. So there were more than a few occasions where I had to earn it, and definitely like those a lot more than the ones that I just kind of walk away from them. So thanks to everybody for coming out and racing, and hopefully that keeps up for next season.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on the success here tonight, the success on the season, and really for you and the entire team over there. So looking forward to next season already and seeing what you guys have in store. But for now, take some time, celebrate this win, celebrate this championship, and we'll see you maybe in a few months.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care, guys.
That's your winner here tonight, and your season 1 champion, the 41 of Dalton Kilrow. We got one more person that we got to bring into the booth, and this thing wouldn't be on air, wouldn't be in process, wouldn't have all these drivers out here without everything that Tim Lee does, and that's who we got in the booth here tonight. Tim, we wrap up the season here tonight at Iowa. Probably not exactly the race you wanted to have, finishing dead last year, but all in all, I mean, I talked about it earlier. 20 guys in the final race of the season. This was not exactly a short season in the number of races. It was not a short season in the number of months that this thing went on. And I mean, there's leagues that run 10, 15 races over a few months and can't hold those kind of numbers. So absolute true testament to everything that you've done for this league here in VVR for the first season. You got to feel like this thing was a success.
Yeah, it really was. Like I said, me, DJ, Todd, and Derek, we started putting this together probably when our season ended at the pit stall. So we put, 2.5 or 3 months, and we knew we already had a really good base core drivers that were faithful, that stick around. So, like the first race, I think we were starting 30. I want to say it was 35 or 37, but you remember the first 2 races we didn't have any cautions, and our car counts were really high. But yeah, I think it's a testament to both of the work. The more work you put in, the better the results and the outcomes you're going to get. But also, we have just a phenomenal set of drivers, man. Just everybody just kind of gelled and kind of figured each other out. And there's 10 or 12 guys that could probably win just about every race here. So it was an exciting season. Starting from scratch, if you will, with BVR and the rest of the admin crew. And it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I think the way we did it, we're going to do it like that next year. We'll probably run 3 races and then probably have an off week and then do 3 and an off week. And then when the summer comes, we'll take a break like we did. Everybody seemed to really like that. I was really worried that after the break that the car counts would drop, but they really didn't. Mm-hmm. And I think we averaged 28. So I did some math last night, 2 nights ago, and I think we averaged about 28 drivers, which is pretty good. Our high was 38. And then minus 2 races, New Hampshire and one of them, we averaged 1.7 cautions per race, and we had 5 races that were caution free. So, good strategies. Just what we did with the 40 and 50% fuel and the tires just makes people, not just go out there and just try to run as fast as they can. You got to put that fuel strategy and tire strategy in there as well. So this car was not my favorite to drive. I just couldn't figure it out. I promise you I'm a better driver than this, but I just couldn't put the practice in and the time. And I really like this track, but just the setup in this car and this track, it was just so loose. I mean, if you get on the throttle too early, so it wasn't necessarily that we had a bad race, a lot of wrecks, so to speak. I think we had 6 or 7 self spins, but it was a great season, guys. I know you guys have verbally agreed to come back and be with us next year. Everybody really enjoyed you guys. I know I did. It was a joy to work with you guys and to watch the broadcasts after every race, and just the kudos and the compliments that we get. I mean, you guys know when we started this, I didn't want racing to be the whole focal point. I wanted it to be about the people and to come in here and feel like this is your family and you can come in here and race and not have to worry about a thing and everybody's going to get along, that kind of thing. So I think we did that. We met some pretty good goals, and next year, can only go up, and that's what we're trying to do. So.
Well, listen, I mean, you pay the bills here, so obviously we know that you're a better driver than this. You're a top 5 driver at worst. So
thanks. Appreciate that.
But Jimmy, what do you got for Tim Lee here?
And it's just good to meet you, Tim, and good we could put on a good product for you. And talking with multiple drivers and multiple people is the constant compliments here for us here at CRN are really appreciated. And it was just a good time. It was something to look forward to on Thursdays, and I don't know what I'm going to do with my time off.
Well, we are going to do some testing and some practice races and some cars and tracks that we're trying to figure out for next season for 2025. So you're more than welcome to hop in and run some practice races with us. But again, I'd be remiss if I didn't, tell my boys, Derek and Todd and DJ, I really appreciate all coming together and putting our heads together and coming up with a good product. Wanted to thank Tyler and Lynn for, my travel schedule can be pretty rigorous. So and there's a couple of times where we had multiple admins that were out, so they would step in and help out, and those guys are awesome. And then of course Dave doing the race control when he could always helps out so much, because I can't push buttons and talk and drive at the same time, so I have to have a dedicated race control to make it work. But and then all the drivers, like I said, we just have Dalton, they're just, you can go down the list, and they're just awesome. But I like them more as people than I do as drivers, because they all kick my rear every Thursday. But I'm looking forward to next year.
So speaking of next year, you give us a little of insight to maybe the vehicle, because I've heard some out there that maybe this car going away next season. So what's the plan, or maybe some insight or info for what to preview? I guess what will be the car or vehicle of choice?
Yeah, so, and I'll be very transparent. So we have never, even when we were doing the pit stall stuff for 4 or 5 years, we never ran the same car every season. We always switched it up. So I'd be lying if I said that wasn't the case, but in the end, we're going to do what everybody wants to do. So we want to put the best car and track combo for PVR season number 2 in 2025. So who knows what that's going to be? I wish I could say exactly what you're looking for. I know that I can tell you we were looking at the Xfinity, the truck, or the Gen 4. I think we kind of ruled the Gen 4 out just because it can be a handful to drive. It's fun to drive, but it can be a handful. But you never know. There's a lot of time between now and January, the second week in January, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's definitely some good insight, and just to know that the Gen 4 or the Gen X cars won't be back next year. So we'll be looking forward to see the new vehicle of choice, and some of the same drivers, maybe some new drivers and happy faces out there to go along with your great league that you got going on here. So definitely look forward to next season, and when that begins, just keep us in touch and keep us in the loop, and we'll be there when you let us know.
Yeah, you guys are part of the team, so like I said, I appreciate all your hard work and dedication. I know you guys have families, and this kind of can take away from that. This is really the only night of the week that I can race when I'm at home, so I get it and I understand. But no, we appreciate you guys and enjoy the broadcasts, and we're gonna have a lot of fun in 2025.
Definitely look forward to 2025.
Yeah, well, we do want to keep as a broadcaster for you guys, so we'll try and I'll try and do my best to keep Jimmy out of any kind of recruitment races or anything like that. Another time off here. I
mean, I did jump in one of their road testing that they had at Indy, and I was running around some of the drivers out there, but there was none of the oval guys out there that I noticed. So I'll just put that one in my pocket. But I did see they're up there on an open session, so I joined in. I was like, "Oh, VVR, I'm going in." So went out.
Yeah. You guys are always welcome to run with us. So, but no, you guys are. You've already verbally agreed, so now you can't back out. So
we're not. When we say something, we'll be there, and it's just just absolutely. The way we are. We don't need anything official. My word of mouth is about golden as anybody else's. I probably have better attendance in most league races for multiple leagues than most drivers. So, but we'll be there.
Well, good, because we've been talking about, we want you guys back, and you've agreed to it. So, like I said, we're excited. Bummed the season's over, but now you can just breathe a little bit and kind of do some other stuff as the winter comes, and then we get ready to roll it out in January.
Trust me, Jimmy's not looking forward to the off time. He's ready to get this thing back going.
We can start next week. What are you talking about, Tim? Let's go.
I hear you. But no, you guys, again, really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts, and we're looking forward to next year.
Yeah, we certainly are too. It was a blast this season. A ton of great racing, and can't say enough about the drivers that are out there. It's so easy that you get in a league where there's a lot of talent like this, and the big egos come into play, and you see all kinds of issues, and it scares other drivers away that are kind of mid-level or backpack drivers. They don't want to deal with that kind of BS, and even some of the faster guys, it scares them away too because they don't want to deal with it. But really haven't had any of that here. It's a really good group of guys, and that's what you want to see. So, congrats on the success here for season 1, and I'm certainly looking forward to season 2. I know Jimmy is, so it can't come soon enough. But enjoy the time off. Congrats on the success, and we'll see you next year.
All right, guys. Take care.
That is the man behind the curtain here for VVR, Tim Lee. And again, if you're looking for a good league to get into, it doesn't matter what cars they run next season. It's going to be a good show. So make sure you either you're on the track or you're tuned in to CRN, because we are certainly looking forward to get back in the booth for Virtual Velocity Racing. But that is going to do it for the season, for the race here tonight. The championship goes to Dalton Kilbro, who puts on a dominating season here with a ton of top fives, grabs his 7th win on the season here tonight. But it's been fun broadcasting everything here for VVR. I want to thank once again the series sponsors, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, Hilton Crafts and Designs. But for Jimmy Covert and myself, Carl Handwork, for one last time for season 1, we'll see you at the track.